Hi everybody, it's Doe here. I've got an instructive video for you today on a new feature in Social Golfer called separation. Let me just open the new features page and scroll down to talk a little bit about this new feature. It happens quite often when you arrange groupings that you want the professional golfers to always be assigned with trainee golfers in a group, or the other way around. You never want people with a high handicap to play together. We know how that slows groups down and how frustrating that could be for a competition. Another thing that sometimes happens is you arrange an event and there are two golfers that simply never want to play together. They've got personal dispute or they've got a history, and you want to separate that as well. So I've created two event examples, and I'm going to take you through how that is set up. I've got a club championship here. This club championship is where we play once a month with a bunch of members. Let me just go through that again. I've got here a whole list of members that's going to play regularly, and I've got set up here all of their golf days that they're going to play. Now, as you can see, I already prepared the high handicap players, that's Lila, Enzo, and Amara. And I never want them to play together. So what I do is I click on one of their names to manage their exclusion. And once I have clicked on Lila, I could say that she should never play with Enzo or with Amara. Now these will always be excluded from one another. I could also click on Enzo, and I should say for Enzo should not play with Amara. And as you can see, the icon changed here to indicate that I'm in the selection mode. So when I go into selection mode, it will show which three players should never play together. We always have to remember that we also have to mark that for Enzo and Amara. Now, in my example I've set up here, Nico and Suki, they are arguing with each other and they never want to play together. So what you do is you select Suki and you say Suki and Nico should never play with each other. They should be separate. In the overview here, you could see which players have a separation assigned to them by clicking on that name. When it's an open face, they're not separate. Now, as you would go through the calculations, when I go here, I will recompute. And you'll see that the handicappers are not playing together and Nico is not playing with this preliminaries. But just save that. When I go back to the matrix, I can see here that when I click on Lila with the high handicap, you'll see that Lila never played with Enzo or Amara, and that Suki and Nico will never play with each other. That's one example of how this new feature works. Another example I've prepared in another event called the Malaga vacation event. I've set this up in such a way, I'm just going to go to the members, that we are going on vacation for a 4-day golf trip, and there are 4 professional golfers. The professional golfers should never play with each other since they are helping all these other trainee golfers. Let me just give this last one a name. Sander. So what we need to do is we need to mark that these players should never play with each other. Again, you select one player and then you select the others where they should be separated from. Now it's important to remember that when I select Blake, Blake should also be separated from Theo and Leonard by clicking on this again, and Theo should also be separated from Leonard. These are always pairings that are mutually exclusive. This is the way we have to see it. Now, let me just go. We have these four golf days that we have planned. And when I go to one of these golf days, I could do a recompute. And you'll see the pro golfers are always assigned to their own groups. Oops, let me just save that. And when I go now to the matrix, you will see on the matrix that the pro golfers, which is these four, are never playing with each other. They're always playing with their pupils, their trainees. And every pupil gets a chance to play with each professional golfer at least once. Now, we only have 4 days on this vacation, so it's not possible for every player to play with everybody else. But you get the idea. That's how the software works.